Welcome back to KA MMA. I'm Khalil Deal.
I'm Andy O.
Here at KA MMA, about to talk about our final predictions, thoughts, and face-offs for the main card. And this is, of course, the fight with Michelle Pereira versus, what's wrong with me? With Fluffy Hernandez. And we're going to talk about the first fight on the main card, Darren Elkins versus Daniel Pineda. Who you got here, Andy O?
I got to go with the damage here. Basically because I don't trust Pineda to be able to stop the takedown and contain the damage and to damage him enough before he starts wearing on him into that probable decision. And there's no way I'm going to take Pineda by decision. So if you want a little tiny cheat or a crack code there, yeah, Pineda does not win anything unless he finishes or knocks his opponent out. And I think Elkins is going to march towards him, take some shots going in, but end up taking him down and just doing the work from there. And basically, that's it. Both these guys are real damaged up. Damage isn't the only one that has damage here, except for scar tissue. Both these guys have been through wars. Both these guys are like the same age. And I'm glad Elkins is at even money now. Maybe he's going to end up as the favorite. We'll see. So I got the damage by decision. What about you, Real Deal?
Yeah, we're in agreement. I'm sticking with the Darren Elkins. This guy is just unbelievable. The damage is unbelievable. I find like he reminds me of a zombie when he fights in there. He just keeps moving forward. It doesn't matter what you do to him. You take shots at him, you kick him, you punch him. He keeps moving forward. On the feet, he's going to be the better guy. On the ground, he's good too. He's just a good overall fighter, man. He's fought a lot of fucking very good fighters in his career. I think that Darren Elkins, you can see he's taller here. I think Pineda is going to not find it that easy to take him down. Elkins is pretty good at takedown defense, and he's good at getting takedowns of his own. Pineda, both of these guys don't really look amazing. Pineda is probably in a little bit better shape, I find. He's a little bit thicker, a little bit more muscular than Elkins, but Elkins always been a slim guy. He's always been slim and ripped. But he's got that dog in him, man. And Elkins keeps going at you, and he gives it everything. And he doesn't care. He's a fucking tough guy. So we're not worried about the striking of Pineda. It's more his jiu-jitsu that we're worried about. But Elkins, he can scramble a lot down on the ground there, and he can do some stuff of his own down there. So I like Darren Elkins to win this one, and I have him winning by sub or decision. I think that he might even get the submission on Pineda because Pineda.
I'm more worried about Pineda striking, and I hope he doesn't knock Elkins out. Because let's face it, Elkins is old, and he's been knocked out before, right? But
a lot of people don't know this, man. But Pineda has been subbed 6 times.
Yeah, Pineda's been subbed a lot. Elkins can sub him for sure. It's gonna be one of those. He's not gonna have enough energy to fight out of it, that type of thing. And I see that happening for sure.
So I got him winning by sub or decision for Elkins here. So in agreement with the first fight of the main card, liking that. Let's move on up to the next fight here. We got Jake Hadley versus Cameron Smotherman. So for this one here, I did some research. I watched the fights here of Cameron Smotherman. The first fight I watched was Cameron Smotherman versus Peter Caballero. Now, Peter Caballero was absolute trash, okay? He was barely throwing any punches and kicks. He had no takedowns. He was backpedaling the whole time. And Smotherman ended up knocking him out with a nice right hook. So Smotherman, he looked really good in that fight, but it was against the bum. The guy was really not good at all. Then I watched the fight against Mando Gutierrez, who was a much better fighter. He was able to get Cameron in the clinch. Then he was able to take his back. He took him down and tried to get a guillotine on him, almost finished him, almost got the submission on Smotherman. He was on top of him for the entire time. Most of the fight, he was relentless in keeping him down. He took him down several times, almost submitted himself several times. and he had him in a body triangle. He ended up gassing in the third round. And what ended up happening is that Mando Gutierrez went to shoot, and Cameron landed a lucky knee to the head, which knocked out Mando unconscious. He got knocked out unconscious from that knee as he was trying to shoot. So Jake Hadley, he's going to be way too much for him. Smotherman's never faced a guy like Jake Hadley, who is very skilled on the ground, who also has very good submissions in jiu-jitsu. I could see Hadley doing the same thing that Mando Gutierrez did to him, which is to take him down, be relentless, get on top. And the only difference is Hadley is way more skilled, and I think he will end up getting that submission. So I got Jake Hadley winning this one by KO or submission. I think he gets a ground and pound, or he gets a submission. And Smotherman is just going to be smothered by Jake Hadley. So who you got here?
Yeah, I got Jake Hadley also. I think it's way too short notice for Smotherman here.
I forgot to mention the short notice. Good one there, Andy.
As you mentioned, he did come forward in that last fight and end up getting the knockout against a bad quality opponent. But that's the thing he's going to have to do against Jack Hadley, is not give Hadley space to get into his rhythm and try to make something happen, because that's the way you beat Hadley and get Hadley a little tired out. So what Hadley's going to do to win is get some rhythm going a little earlier now, because he's facing a guy like this, and then start working the takedowns a little later on. Doesn't want to gas himself out, because that's been a bit of a Hadley problem, is him gassing. So he's not going to want to do it, like go crazy and gas himself out like too early on. But his striking's better. He has submissions that are probably going to find the mark in this one. So give me Jake Hadley by sub in the second round.
Yeah, not to mention both of these guys are in great physical shape, man. You can see that Smotherman's a little bit taller, a little bit more muscular, but they're both pretty strong and pretty ripped. Hadley also is shredded there. You can't see it in this picture, but he's pretty shredded.
Also, Hadley has a 2-inch reach advantage, which may help him actually a little to get his rhythm going,
Yeah, that could definitely help him. All Hadley has to do in this fight, man, is do what Mando Gutierrez did to him, which was to take him down and quickly get him in the clinch and bring him down. Don't try to box with him. Don't try to keep this fight as a standing boxing match.
Hadley will stand for like a while, man. This guy.
Yeah, but he's got to be careful, because Smotherman, if he's got power in his hands, I've seen it in those fights, that he could land something devastating there. So he's got to be careful. All right, so we're both picking Hadley to win here. I like this one, especially the short notice there. Hadley should be ready for this one. All right, let's move on up for the next fight here. We got Charles Johnson versus Sue Maderji. And of course, who you got here, Andy? I think it's your turn here.
I got to stick with Charles Johnson here. I really think the guy has found his groove finally, after being a disappointment to me and after almost getting kicked out of the UFC, because he lost 3 in a row, right? Now I think he's going to beat Maderji here. With his unorthodox style, just the volume that's going to increase throughout the fight. He's really going to pour it on later into the fight if it doesn't end earlier, because, hey, Charles Johnson is some type of finisher now after his knockout last fight. Also, I forgot to mention, Maderji has like this wide stance where I think Charles Johnson can really work at those legs. And on top of that, it's going to be nice and open, because I think they're both southpaws, if I'm not mistaken, right? So the leg's going to be there. Also Maderji took a lot of damage, and I feel that Charles Johnson can't be finished. And now that he's a finisher too, I'm predicting sub or decision for Charles Johnson.
Nice, man. We are in agreement here. Absolutely. I got Charles Johnson. Now you can see that Charles Johnson, they're about the same height, these two. Even though topology says that Maderji is an inch taller.
He's an inch taller.
Maybe he is, but it's very, very close. Maderji is very, very skinny, as you can see here, man. He is skin and bones here, very, very ripped, but super skinny. Charles Johnson's got more mass on him, a little bit thicker, also ripped as well. And one thing to note here is that Sue Maderji is 16-6. He's 16-6, the same record as Charles Johnson. But the funny thing is that all of his losses have come by submission for Majerji. And these are guys who were able to take him down and submit him, and that's exactly what Charles Johnson's going to do. He's going to take him down and submit him. I really do see this happening because Mujerji is very susceptible to submissions. Charles Johnson is a grappler. This guy can wrestle. He will take him down. He will get that body lock, that body triangle, and I see him latching in a rear naked choke or some kind of submission on the ground. So Charles Johnson it is. We are in agreement again in the main card. Let's move on up to the next fight here. We got Rob Font versus Kyler Phillips. Yeah, I'm definitely sticking with Kyler Phillips.
Well, you're not going with Rob Font? He looks a half an inch taller. You said if Rob Font was bigger, look.
Man, these guys are almost the same. Man. Like, I mean, it's a.
He's half an inch taller. I can see it.
It's by a fucking little hair there that Rob.
Look, it's not going to matter either way. He's going to jab his face off. We all know. Is it?
You know, I can't put my money on a guy who's lost times in the last 5 fights, man. You know, come on. You know, also he's going to be so much younger at 29 years old, Kyler Phillips. You know, and he just looks better too. You know, he's ripped. I think Rob Font might have a little bit more muscle on him, maybe a little bit thicker. But Kyler Phillips, man, punches with some power. I think he's going to be quicker. He's going to be faster. And he's just got more skills at striking. I like Kyler Phillips in this one, man. I got Kyler Phillips winning by KO or decision in this one. I think he's just a better fighter, man. Rob Font's taken a lot of damage, lost to a lot of people. You know, Figueiredo, Sanhagen, Marlon Vera, and Jose Aldo. So he's just been
the best in the business.
He's been losing. The only win he got was against Adrian Yanez. And I think that Kyler Phillips is better. So let's go for Kyler Phillips in this one. Who you got, Andy O?
Just because he loses to the best in the business doesn't mean he's washed up. So that's the angle I'm going at, is that he fights someone a little less caliber like Kyler Phillips is now. People seem to think he has a very, very high upside. I'm not quite there yet, but maybe he does. Would I be surprised if Kyler Phillips won this fight? Definitely not. He has way more varied striking, good angles, good speed. He can mix the takedowns. But I'm going to go with a whim here, and I think Rob Font's going to surprise him with his toughness. He's going to get him a little frustrated, and it's going to open up that jab. He's going to work that jab from the first minute, man. And because that's the only place he actually outskills Kyler Phillips.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the camp. I mean, Kyler Phillips, man, these guys are coming out of MMA Lab. These guys are very, very good over there. And definitely, I think the game plan is to not sit there and try to box with Rob Font.
Well, you know how it goes sometimes. In cases like these, they can say, watch out for this. You know the guy's going to try it, but yet, you know, they still have a hard time figuring it out or containing it. But we'll see. He's a definite big underdog. I do see this fight, though, going to decision, and I'm going to pick Rob Font to win it that way, obviously. Because Kyler Phillips isn't really known as a finishing guy. 66% of his wins in the UFC have come from decision. And Rob Font's tough to put away. Even if he's a little more washed up than I think, I still think he's going to be able to last all 3 rounds.
Like I said, I can't do it, man. Too many losses in the last 5 fights. There are 4 losses. I can't put my money on them. I got to go with Kyler Phillips, man. I just think that he's better. And I think that he's going to use the ground game to take down Rob Font. Rob Font, we've seen him be terrible on the ground. All right, so let's move on up to the main event of the evening. We got Fluffy Alex Hernandez versus Michel Pereira.
I got to go with Fluffy Hernandez here. Michel Pereira looks huge. I was expecting this, but Fluffy is nice and stout and built for the type of style he brings. He will bring the incessant pressure and takedowns. He's going to go for some elbows in the clinch, but he's going to work to get Pereira down, get Pereira tired out, and get him in a sub in the second round or early third. I don't think Pereira's going to be able to handle that type of game plan. Pereira's chance here is to pull out a surprise sub once he gets taken down by Hernandez the first or second time, or obviously catch him with some sick, crazy knockout. I wouldn't be surprised if Pereira flips at him and does a somersault and a spin twist kick to start off the fight, because Pereira's the type of guy that would try that. I don't think it's going to work, as I think Fluffy's going to catch him right after that misses and start to go to probably get him down right after that, and that's chapter 1. So give me Hernandez by submission in the late second round or early third. We got a real deal.
Yeah, I got to go with Fluffy Hernandez as well, man. Michel Pereira, man, these guys are in great shape, man. Pereira looks really good, though. He's pretty muscular. He's pretty built. He's pretty ripped. Hernandez not so bad as well. He's pretty ripped as well, pretty built as well. I like that Pereira is not towering over him. He's not that much taller. Topology had him. They have him pretty much even in height there, so that's pretty close. 6'1".
He's a couple inches taller, Pereira, though.
Pereira is supposed to be 1 inch taller, but the reach advantage goes towards Fluffy Hernandez there. He's got the 2-inch reach advantage there. What I'm saying here is in this one is that Fluffy Hernandez is more disciplined in the way he fights. He sticks to the game plan, sticks to the grappling, sticks to the wrestling, sticks to what he does best. Michel Pereira, all over the place. Wild man, wild kicks and punches, spinning back fists, spinning elbows, front forward somersaults. Who knows what the fuck this guy's going to do? And that's why he's not, I don't think he's going to win this fight, because he's just not disciplined enough, not technical enough. And I don't think he's coming in there with a very good game plan to fight a guy like Hernandez. I think he's going to go in there and try to do his wild stuff. Hernandez, I have a feeling, will right away from the get charge at Pereira so he doesn't have time to do his wild, crazy shit. Get this guy in the clinch right against the cage right away. Just like charge at him, smash into him into the cage. And that's when he's going to start doing his work with trying to get him down. I could easily see him latching up a body triangle on the Pereira or taking his back. But the submission is live for me. I got Hernandez winning this one by submission or decision. I think he's gonna manage to get. I think he's gonna land the submission on Pereira.
And with that game plan you were talking about, absolutely, he's not going to stop. And let's say Pereira catches him with a crafty, nice time shot, really hard. Hernandez, if it doesn't knock him out, he's just going to laugh it off, talk some shit, and keep on going. So there's going to be no break, even in the parts of success that Pereira will get, I feel. So yeah, Hernandez all the way, baby. Can't wait.
All right, there you have it, folks. Our final predictions, thoughts, and face-offs for the main card. Stay tuned. Coming up next, you're going to get our official bets for UFC Vegas 99. Like and subscribe, folks. Leave some comments. Tell us what you guys think. Hope you liked the video. KAMMA. Peace out.